What is up YouTube? This is your host Yasin Nizami, and today I'm going to touch upon my local real estate market, which is Milton, Ontario. I'm going to talk about what's happening in the market based upon the last 90 days market activity, and then we will see what happened in the past, and we will try to see where the trend is going moving forward. So let's dive into it. All right, so welcome back. So what I'm looking at right now in front of me is a 90-day activity within Milton, Ontario. It's a little bit of eye chart, so apologies for that, but these numbers are very important for you to understand what's happening in the market. So this chart shows 3-month activity from December all the way to February. And what I would like you to pay attention to is look at the number of sales transactions. So the sales column shows the number of sales transactions per real estate type, and then you can ignore the dollar volume because that just shows the accumulative dollar amount, which is not relevant for our discussion today. But what I would like you to pay attention to is the average price column, new listings, and the month of inventory column. So let's start with December. So in December, you saw total number of transactions were 132. And if you look at the average price for detached houses, it was sitting at 1248, okay, based upon the 56 number of transactions. And then you see the month of inventory has been less than 1 month, which is very low. Anything that is below 2 months, it is considered as a seller's market. And it has been consistently, staying below 1 month. If you compare this average price with January figures, you can see the price a little bit dropped because we had, we have a little bit more number of transactions in January. But what happened in February, that is where the real difference came out. So as per February statistics, the average detached house price is almost 1.3 million. Now this is average, so the price varies depending upon the size of the house, the condition of the house, the renovations, the area. All these factors matters a lot. So I have seen some of the Milton detached houses were sold 1.2, and then it goes all the way to 1.7 as well, depending on the size and the lot size as well. Let's move into the semi-detached house, where you can see the average price for semi-detached in December 2020 was $898 based upon 15 number of transactions, and then it goes up to $948 in January, and then it goes all the way to $985 in February. So February has been one of the hottest months so far if you compare the last 90-day period, but that's how it is showing. So let's move on to condo townhouses. As you can see, the average townhouse price in December was $639, and then it went up to $678. So almost $40,000 difference between December and January for a condo townhouse in Milton. And then in February, it went up to $671. So between January and February, the condo townhouses did not change much from average pricing perspective. But you can see the amount of transactions were also stayed low. Let's move on to condo apartments. So the average price was $495 in December. It moved up to $549 in January. Everybody was talking about the condo market is crashing, nobody's buying condo, but the data shows something different. The data shows the condo market has started climbing up now. We have already missed the bottom. For the investors who were looking for better deals, I think you missed the spot. December was a time when it was the right time to go into the condo market and get some deals. But now condo market is climbing up. Moving on to the attached townhouses, which we typically known as freehold townhouses, $788 in December, based upon 40 number of transactions in Milton. It went up to $852. So almost $60,000 difference between December average price and January average price. And then in February, you can see the price went up to $855. So I think the December pricing was low, but then January and February pricing was kind of stayed same. But you can see the number of transactions, it went up. 110 townhouses were sold in February versus 29 and then 40 in December. So there was a lot of activity happen within the freehold townhouses in Milton, as well as the detached houses. So the total number of transactions, if you compare them, 132 in December, then it went up to 142, not a huge difference. But then look at the number of total transactions in February, 288, almost double the transaction volume which we saw in January and December. And the month of inventory, again, I'm seeing less than 1 month of inventory, which is typically nothing. It can get absorbed very quickly. Anything which is below 2 is seller's market, and this is right now, it's less than 1, which is extreme seller's market. So sellers are demanding, you know, whatever they want, and the buyers are basically running into bidding wars almost every single time. So this is a really difficult time for buyers to kind of shop around and then get a better deal, because there are not many options available in the market, and it is because extreme seller market. So sellers are driving it, and they demand whatever they want in terms of selling the property. The other thing I would like you to pay attention to is the average days on the market column, and you can see the average days in the market has been less than 15 days. But what happened in February, it even went down to less than 10 days. So you can imagine these houses, 1.5 million, $1.6 million houses, are being sold within 5 to 7 days time period, which is so aggressive. I have never seen the activity like this in my life so far. Now this chart shows the 16 months trend, and what I would like you to pay attention to is 2 charts, which is average price and then month of inventory for now. And look at this, you know, the last time when we saw that kind of a spike in terms of average price was back in 2016 and 17, and then it followed by a sharp decline as well. And what happened, if you remember, it was the government intervention when the government came out and they announced foreign buyer tax in Ontario, as well as the mortgage stress, and that kind of killed the momentum in the market and dropped the average price down to the 16 levels. But then it's kind of stayed same for 2018 and up till 19, and then from 19 onwards it started to climbing up. And as we were approaching 2020, the price were going up, and then the pandemic happened and the price dropped for a little up until like March and April timeframe when we were in the extreme lockdown situation. But then after that, what happened, it was on the hockey stick. It has been going up straight and hasn't dipped so far yet. Now compared to the month of inventory, you can see the last time when we had that low level of inventory was again back in 2016 and 17, and it may climb up because we are approaching in the spring market, and then summer market. It happens every year. The summer market has been one of the most active period in the year. Now what's gonna happen next? Is it gonna dip or not? I think it depends upon what happens from government. So government needs to take any step in terms of cooling this market down, whether they are going to implement some new taxes or, you know, increase interest rate. Well, the fixed mortgage interest rate are already increasing because it is tied to the bond market, and the bond yield is climbing up, and hence we are seeing the interest rate for the fixed term mortgage is climbing up as well. But the variable rate is still staying low, and because it is tied to the Bank of Canada's overnight rate, which is staying at 0.25, and we're seeing the variable rate is not increasing. So depending upon how the market behaves, it's very hard to predict what's going to happen in the future in terms of the market dip, or is it going to continue on the hockey stick for the rest of the year. So we will see. It requires some sort of an intervention from government in order to make any impact on the market. What I show you right now is the average price for these houses in Milton. Now it means that this is the average among all these transactions. So, but if you look at the range of the prices, these detached houses are sold from 1.2 all the way to $1.7 million as well in Milton, depending upon the size of the property, the age, the renovations, you know, and the location as well. So I have seen some townhouses being sold over $1 million in Milton. I have seen some detached houses sold for $1.7 million as well. So it really depends, but the average price doesn't really give you the correct picture. That's my point. The price depends upon the property, the size, the location, the renovation, and the age of the property. That's it for me, guys. So if you are in Milton, give me your feedback, leave your comments down below, ask me any questions. in terms of your housing market. If you want to sell or buy a house in Milton, let me know. I can help you with my statistics and insights that I have real estate market, especially in Milton, because I live in Milton. I'm a local realtor here. So let me know what your thoughts are, and I will be happy to take your feedback, whether good or bad. So I don't really mind it. So until my next video, I'll see you next time. Take care.